One consistent set of global rules. If you want to discuss data flows as an example, if you could make data flow rules in the global regime, the World Trade Organization, that applies to 164 members, that would be the best case scenario for anything internet enabled, right? Because then we would know what the rules are on data. Those are the rules for 164 countries. We don't have those rules now, in part because our global trading system hasn't really created any new rules since 1993 that came into force in 1995. And those of you in the digital space may recall that the World Wide Web became a public feature in 1995. So the global trade rules that we have actually predate or before the World Wide Web became a thing. And we haven't been able to make global rules since then. So there is effort to do so. There is a group of countries that are really struggling to get an agreement done with a smaller subset of countries at the global level to discuss some of these issues. But in the absence of a global regime approach, what's happened is that governments have either decided to do it entirely on their own for domestic reasons, like these are my rules, or coordinate with others. And so this push to put digital rules in trade agreements is one response to a lack of global rules. We could just do it in a regional context. We could do it bilaterally. We could do it unilaterally. And so, trying to create these kinds of requirements or the rules or the structure is a big focus for a lot of governments. When you create a digital only agreement, it's a bit challenging because digital only, I understand the incentive and I understand the imperative. The big problem, there are many, but one problem for me is to explain to me the difference between digital trade and trade. As we head forward into the universe, I think all trade is going to be digital, or digital will be embedded in all trade. I have a hard time imagining a transaction of any kind these days that doesn't have some element that has digital in it. Either it is a digital transaction like what we're having right now, or it's, you're getting services, you're taking payments, you're taking orders, whatever it is, it's digital. The point is to find the economy split from digital, I think is difficult. So if we're making digital agreements, digital only agreements, then those have the potential to undermine our existing trade agreements. And then we end up with this weird, another noodle of trade agreements that cover the economy, but anything digital is over here. And then how do they hook together? I think, we have some risks ahead. But I think what you see from this is governments that definitely understand the risk of fragmentation, incompatibility, the missed opportunities, the collateral damage from different kinds of rules, trying to find what is the sweet spot, the right platform, the right approach for managing some of these sometimes contentious, sometimes less contentious, but often contentious issues in a way that's consistent. And so they're basically trying everything and they're going to see what works, which is why I try to encourage as much as possible companies, academics, think tanks, et cetera, to please be part of that conversation. Because if you leave government officials to themselves to create various rules around digital, then we may end up with rules that are deeply problematic for all these other communities. So we have to join together, because we have to be able to create rules that work for all of us. But that process can be really challenging.